Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new lecture series. And today's topic is cell cycle and cell division. And within this topic, we'll study about the process of mitosis in detail. And within mitosis, we'll study about the stages of mitosis and what is the significance of mitosis. And this lecture is completely NCERT based, means all the topics covered in this lecture are from the NCERT book. So let's start with the definition of the cell cycle. Now, cell cycle, what is cell cycle? The stages through which a cell passes during cell division is known as cell cycle. The cell cycle is further divided into two major phases. First one is the interphase, second is the mitotic phase, also known as the M phase. Alright, so cell cycle is further subdivided into two phases. First is the interphase and second one is the mitotic phase. Now let's study about interphase and mitotic phase in detail. First we'll talk about the interphase. So interphase is further subdivided into three subphases. First is the G1 phase. G1 phase is also known as the gap 1 phase. Then after G1 we have the S phase. S phase is known as the synthetic phase. And after synthetic phase we have the G2 phase, also known as the gap 2 phase. So here in this diagram you can see first is the interphase. Okay, interphase further divided into G1 phase. Then we have the S phase or the synthetic phase. And then we have the G2 phase. So G1, S and G2 phase, all these comprise of interphase. Okay. And after interphase we have the M phase. So this is the M phase here. Okay, M phase or the mitotic phase. And M phase is further divided into two phases, karyokinesis, this one, and cytokinesis. Alright. Now let's talk about the M phase or the mitotic phase. Mitotic phase is further divided into two phases. First is the karyokinesis, and in karyokinesis what happens? There is division of the nucleus. Okay, and after karyokinesis we have cytokinesis. What is cytokinesis? Cytokinesis is the division of the cytoplasm. Okay, and finally what happens after karyokinesis and cytokinesis? Two equal, or you can say genetically equal, cells are produced. Cells are produced at the end of mitosis. Now let's talk about interphase again in detail. Interphase is also known as the resting stage. Okay, and it is a period of synthesis and growth. Although we say interphase at the resting stage, but what happens? But the cell is actually metabolically active and it is a period of synthesis and growth. Okay, lot of synthesis and growth takes place during interphase and cell is preparing itself for the cell division. Interphase, I've already told you, is further divided into G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. Okay, here again, this is the entire diagram is of interphase. First is the G1 phase here. Okay, then we have the S phase and then we have the G2 phase. Okay, this one is the G2 phase. Then after G2 we have the mitotic phase. Mitotic phase is further divided into karyokinesis and cytokinesis. Now interphase again. Interphase is the longest phase of the cell cycle and it comprises about 95% of the duration of the cell cycle. Okay, that's why it is called as resting phase, because it is the longest phase and comprises about 95% of the duration of the cell cycle, but actually the cell is metabolically active and it is preparing itself for the cell division. Now let's talk about the subphases of interphase. First is the G1 phase. The G1 phase is nothing but interval between the mitotic phase and the S phase. Okay, we know we have the G1 phase, we have the S phase, we have the G2 phase, and we have the M phase. Okay, so G1 phase is the interval between the mitotic phase and the S phase. Okay, what happens during the G1 phase? The cell is metabolically active. Okay, and there is lot of production of carbohydrates, lipids, as well as RNA is also synthesized. Proteins are also synthesized. Okay, and what happens? There is lot of production of these compound organic molecules, but there is no DNA synthesis. No replication of DNA takes place. So the DNA content after G1 remains the same. There is no change in the DNA content of the cells. Okay, after G1 we have the S phase, also known as the synthetic phase. In this phase what happens? DNA replication, or you can say DNA synthesis takes place. Okay, DNA synthesis or DNA replication takes place during the S phase, as well as some proteins known as histone proteins are also synthesized during the S phase. Now, because of the DNA replication, DNA content per cell will double. Okay, so what happens initially? If the cell was diploid, okay, 2N, it consisted of 2C DNA. Okay, this is the DNA concentration. And after S phase, what happens? After the S phase, the DNA content will double, means it will become 4C. Okay, but the chromosome number will remain same. Okay, the same cell, it will remain 2N, means it will still contain 2 sets of chromosome. Okay, but the DNA content will double. It will become 4C instead of 2C. Okay, before G1 it will be 2C. Okay, and okay, in G1 phase it will be 2C, but after S phase it will be 4C. Okay, the DNA content doubles, but there is no change or increase in the chromosome number. Chromosome number will remain the same, means the cell will remain diploid only, 2N. Okay, another thing that is happening during the S phase is the centrioles. Okay, in some animal cell, the centrioles, they duplicate. Okay, and what is centrioles? Centrioles are nothing but these are organelles that are involved in organization of microtubules. Okay, and microtubules will later form the spindle fibers. Okay, so duplication of centriole is very important here for the cell division. Now let's talk about the last phase of the interphase, which is the G2 phase. So G2 phase is the period between the S phase and the mitotic or the mitosis phase. Again, we know we have the G1 phase, we have the S phase, then we have G2, and then we have the M phase. Okay, so G2 is the period between the S phase and the mitotic phase, this G2. Alright, so in G2 what happens? Final preparation for the cell division is taking place during the G2 phase. And the cytoplasmic organelles such as Golgi bodies, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, they also duplicate. Okay, they are doubled. Okay, there is synthesis of tubulin protein. Okay, and this tubulin protein is involved in the formation of spindle apparatus. Okay, and what else is happening? Proteins are synthesized and cell growth continues. during the cell cycle. Now, what happens? Now let's talk about the G0 state, which is also known as the quiescent stage. So what happens? Sometimes some of the cells such as heart cell, skeletal muscle cell, some lymphocyte and some nerve cells. So what happens? They don't divide further and they exit the G1 phase. Okay? And what happens? They exit the G1 phase and they enter a inactive stage which is known as the G0 phase or the quiescent stage. So what happens? Here you can see this is the G1 phase. So some of the cells, okay, like skeletal cells, heart cells, or you can say cardiac cells, and some lymphocytes and nerve cells, they exit the G1 phase here, okay, and they enter an inactive stage which is known as the G0 stage, okay, and they get trapped here in the G0 phase. And what happens later on? Here in the G0 phase, the cells remain metabolically active, but they no longer proliferate. Okay? They are metabolically active, but they are not dividing. But what happens later? Depending on the requirement of the organism, okay, the growth can resume in these cells. Okay? The cell can again start dividing, okay, or it can again enter the G1 phase from the G0 phase, okay, and it depends on the requirement of the organism, okay. So from G1, the cells enter G0 phase, okay. In G0 phase, the cells, if they are trapped, they are known as to be terminally differentiated. Cells in the G2 stage are called to be terminally differentiated. Okay. And then from the G0 phase, cells can again enter the G1 phase, depending on the requirement of the organism. Now let's talk about the condition of the nucleus, okay, at the end of the G2 phase. Alright, or we can say at the end of the interphase. So what is the condition of the nucleus? In nucleus, within nucleus, we have the DNA, or we can say we have the chromosome material. Okay. So each chromosome within the nucleus exists as a pair of chromatid joined by a centromere. Okay. So these are chromatids. Okay. These are sister chromatids. This one and this one. Okay. These two together are sister chromatids. Sister chromatids which are joined at the centromere. So the middle part is the centromere. This is the centromere. Okay. So the chromosome is visible as a pair of chromatid joined together by a centromere. And what is a centromere? Centromere is nothing but a constriction present on the chromosome. It is a constriction present on the chromosome. And what else is happening here? The cell is in diploid condition. Okay. But the DNA content is double. Okay. The cell is in diploid condition, means 2n. But the DNA content is double, means 4c. Okay. And another thing to notice here is the centriole is replicated into 2, means there is replication of the centromere or duplication of the centriole. Okay. Duplication of centriole. Now this was the end of the interphase. Now let's talk about the mitotic phase. Mitotic phase, sometimes also known as meiotic phase. Okay, we will talk about it when we will talk about meiosis. So what is happening in M phase? M phase is the shortest phase of the cell cycle. Okay, and it consists of 2 phases. it is further divided into two sub-phases. First is the karyokinesis, in which nuclear division takes place. Second is the cytokinesis, where cytoplasmic division takes place. Now, mitosis is, we all know that it is known as the equational division. Okay? Why equational division? Because it leads to the formation of two equal cells. Okay? It leads to the formation of two, we can say, genetically similar cells with same chromosome number. Okay. We'll see later how the equational division takes place. Okay, we will see later when we study about the stages of karyokinesis. So the term mitosis was coined by Walter Fleming in 1882. Okay, and mitosis is generally seen in diploid cells, means 2N cells, okay, of animals and plants. Okay, but there are few exceptions to that. Okay, usually mitosis takes place in the somatic cells. Okay, somatic cells are diploid. Okay, somatic or vegetative cells, these are diploid. Okay, now there are few exceptions, such as the haploid male drones present in the honeybees. So these male drones are haploid, means they contain one chromosomal set. Okay, and what happens here in these male drones? These male drones produce sperms with the help of mitosis. Usually meiosis is involved in the formation of gametes, okay, or in the formation of sperms. But here, as the male drones are haploid, here mitosis leads to the formation of sperms in male drones of honeybees. And one another example where mitosis takes place are the haploid cell of some of the lower plants. Now let's talk about karyokinesis in detail. So karyokinesis is further divided into four successive phases. First is the prophase, then we have the metaphase, then we have the anaphase, and then we have the telophase. Now let's talk about the prophase in detail. So prophase is the first stage of the karyokinesis or the nuclear division. And in karyokinesis, what happens? There is condensation of the chromosome takes place here. Means chromosome are condensing now. Okay, they are coiling. Chromosomes are coiling. And what happens after the condensation of the chromosome? Each chromosome, okay, now has two chromatids which are held together by a centromere. So in this diagram you can see this one. Each chromosome has two chromatids. This is one chromatid, this is one chromatid, okay, and they are held together by a centromere. This is a centromere, okay, which consists of two kinetochores. Okay, so if this is the chromosome, okay, these are the chromatids, then these two are the kinetochore. Fiber will attach. Okay, so spindle fiber will attach here on the kinetochore, which is present on the centromere. Now what else is happening during the prophase? The cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complexes, nucleolus, as well as the nuclear envelope, they disappear during prophase. Okay, chromatin is condensing, chromatin condensation is taking place. Okay, each chromosome now consists of two sister chromatids. Now what else is happening? Centrosome. Okay, centrosome. What is centrosome? Centrosome is a structure okay, that is involved in the organization of the microtubules. Okay, and within centrosome, a pair of barrel-shaped centrioles are present. Alright, so centrosome is a structure that within which microtubules are present. Okay, or we can say each centrosome consists of a pair of centriole. Okay, and centrioles are involved in the organization of the microtubules. So centrosome begins to move towards the opposite pole of the cell. And what happens when it reaches the opposite pole? The centrosome radiates out microtubules. Alright, if this is the centrosome, okay, it will radiate out some microtubules. Okay, and this entire structure, okay, these are the microtubules. This was the centrosome. Okay, so centrosome along with the microtubules, these together form the aster. Okay, so what is aster? Aster is a star-shaped structure which comprises of centrosome and the associated microtubule. Alright, so the centrosome radiates out microtubules called asters, and the two asters together with the spindle fibers forms the mitotic apparatus. Now second is the metaphase. After prophase we have the metaphase. What is the characteristic feature of metaphase? Okay, first is the condensation of chromosome here is completed, and the chromosome are very easily visible here, or they are very distinctly visible during the metaphase. Okay, another important trait of or the characteristic of metaphase is that the chromosome aligning at the equator, okay, or the equatorial plate known as the metaphase plate. Okay, so here you can see this is the metaphase plate. Okay, and chromosomes are aligned on the metaphase plate. Okay, spindle fiber, this is a spindle fiber, okay, which is attached to the centromere. Okay, chromosome lie along the equatorial plane or the metaphase plate. This is centriole. Okay, a pair of centriole is present in the centrosome. Okay, and these are the radiating microtubules. Okay, and what is aster? Aster is a star-shaped structure, okay, which is formed by the association of microtubules and the centrosome. Now again, what is the condition of the metaphase chromosome? Metaphase chromosome is made up of two sister chromatids which are again held together by centromere. Here you can see two sister chromatids. This is one, another sister chromatid held together by the centromere. Okay, here is the centromere, which consists of two kinetochores. Now during metaphase, the spindle fiber attached to the kinetochores of the chromosome. Okay. Again, this thing here is to remember that at metaphase, the morphology of the chromosome is most easily studied during the metaphase. Okay, so when we have to study the morphology of the chromosome, we study the metaphase stage of the cell cycle, because here the condensation is complete and chromosomes are very clearly visible here. Now after metaphase we have the anaphase stage. In anaphase what happens? Centromere division takes place here. Okay, so the centromere of the chromosome divides and the chromosome will split. Okay, and the chromosome and the chromatids will move towards the opposite poles here. Okay, so the centromere will divide first and the chromatid, you can see chromatid here. There is the separation of the chromatids and not the chromosome. Okay, now the chromatids, they separate, okay, and they reach the opposite poles, and now they are known as chromosomes. Instead of chromatids, now they are known as chromosomes. Okay, so what is happening here? First is the chromosome break at the centromere, okay, and the chromatids move to the opposite ends. Now the two daughter chromatids are now known as the daughter chromosomes. Okay, so instead of calling chromatids, now we call them as daughter chromosome. And that's why mitosis is known as the equational division, because what is happening here? There is the separation of chromatid. There is separation of chromatid due to the division of the centromere. So initially we had 46 chromosome, 46 chromatid will go here, and 46 chromatid will go here on the opposite pole. Okay, and the diploid condition is maintained. So if this was 2n, we have 2n, and this is also 2n, means diploid condition is maintained. Another thing that is observed during anaphase is that chromosome which are moving towards the opposite poles, okay, so how they are moving? The arms of the chromosomes are trailing behind. Here you can see these are the arms of the chromosome. They are trailing behind as they move to the opposite poles. So this is how they are moving to the opposite poles. Now last phase is the telophase, also known as reverse of prophase. Okay, so why it is called reverse of prophase? Because all the steps which are happening here, okay, are reverse of prophase. So in prophase, what was happening? Chromosomal condensation was taking place. Here chromosome, they decondense and they lose their identity. Okay, they become indistinct. Chromosomal decondensation or chromosomal decoiling takes place. Nuclear envelope appears, okay, it develops around the chromosome clusters, okay, these are the chromosome clusters, okay, so nuclear envelope, okay, this is the formation of the nuclear envelope. Nuclear envelope start developing around the chromosome cluster, okay. And in prophase, what used to happen? Nuclear envelope, nucleolus, cell organelles, they were disappearing. Here they are reappearing. Nucleus is also reappearing. Nucleolus, again, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, they reappear during telophase. This is again a diagram or figure showing telophase. This is the chromosome cluster. This is the chromosome cluster. Okay, and nuclear envelope starts emerging around the chromosome cluster. Now, this was the end of the karyokinesis. Now, let's talk about the cytokinesis. After karyokinesis, we have cytokinesis. Cytokinesis was nothing but the division of the cytoplasm. So, cytokinesis, or you can say mechanism of cytokinesis, is different in the animal and the plant cell. So, now let's first talk about the mechanism of cytokinesis in animal cell. In animal cell, the mechanism of cytokinesis is known as furrow method, means there is a formation of furrow, also known as cleavage furrow in animal cells. So what happens initially? There is appearance of a furrow in the plasma membrane. Okay, so if this was the cell, there is a appearance of a furrow in the plasma membrane. Okay, and this furrow gradually, what it does, it moves inwards. Okay, it starts moving inwards, ultimately leading to the formation of two cells. It will move inwards, this furrow, from both the sides. Okay, this furrow deepens and ultimately joins in the center. Okay, and when it joins the center, okay, it divides the cytoplasm into two, thus forming two cells in the end. So in the end, it will form two cells. Okay. The point here to remember is that in animal cell, the cytokinesis takes place with the help of formation of a furrow. Okay. And we call it as a furrow method. Then we have then let's talk about the plant cell. In plant cell, what happens? The cytokinesis takes place by the cell plate method. Okay. So what happens in the cell plate method? The cell plate is formed in the center of the cell. Okay. Here a cell plate is initially formed in the center. Okay. And then this cell plate grows outwards. Okay. In animal cell, the furrow was growing inwards. Here the cell plate is growing outwards. Okay. So the wall formation in plant cell starts in the center of the cell and grows outwards. Okay. To meet the existing lateral walls. And what happens? Finally, two cells are formed. One cell and then we have the another cell. Okay. So initially a cell plate is formed. This is known as a cell plate. This acts as a precursor for the synthesis of the cell wall. Okay. So this cell plate represents the middle lamella. Okay. So the cell plate represents the middle lamella. And what is middle lamella? It is a wall between the two walls of the cells. Okay. This is what is middle lamella. So in plant cells, what is happening? The formation of new cell wall begins with the formation of a simple precursor called as the cell plate, which is also known as the middle lamella. Now sometimes what happens, karyokinesis is not followed by cytokinesis. Means nuclear division takes place, but there is no cytoplasmic division. Okay. So if there is no cytokinesis, what happens then? There is a multinucleate condition is created. Okay. Because of lack of the division of the cytoplasm. Okay. So how the cell will appear? Cell will appear as multinucleate. And this condition is known as syncytium. So syncytium is nothing but it is the multinucleate condition present in some organism. Okay. When the karyokinesis is not followed by the cytokinesis. Okay. Example of syncytium is liquid endosperm found in the coconut. Now this is the figure showing the stages of the mitosis. Now we know that mitosis is first divided into two phases. First is the interphase and then we have the M phase. Okay. And M phase is further divided into karyokinesis and cytokinesis. This is the M phase or the mitotic phase. So here what is happening? We have the interphase which was divided into G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. Okay. Then after interphase, from here starts the M phase. Okay. Now it will continue in this direction. First we have the prophase. Okay. Then we have the metaphase. Then we have anaphase. And the last stage is the telophase. After telophase, this is the end of karyokinesis here. Karyokinesis will end here. Okay, after karyokinesis, we have the cytokinesis, which leads to the formation of two genetically similar daughter cells. So the product of mitosis is two genetically similar daughter cells. Now let's talk about the significance of mitosis. Okay, first importance of mitosis is that it contributes to the growth of the organism. And how it contributes? We know that the meristematic cells present in the apical meristem. Okay, apical meristems are of two types. First is the root apical meristem, and then we have the shoot apical meristem. Okay, and these meristem, they consist of the meristematic cells. So mitosis in the meristematic cells, okay, such as root apical meristem and shoot apical meristem and the lateral cambium. Okay. Okay, so mitosis in the apical meristem and the lateral cambium leads to the growth of the organism. And what does mitosis do? Mitosis also helps in cellular repair. Examples are the repair of the, or you can say the upper layer of the epidermis. Okay, cells of the upper layer of epidermis, cells of the lining of gut and blood cell. All these, okay, cells, they divide by mitosis, okay, and they help in the repair, in the cellular repair, okay, of the multicellular organism. Okay, so the cells in the epidermis, gut and the blood cell, they are continuously dividing, okay, and if they get damaged, they get repaired with the help of mitosis. Mitosis is also the basis of asexual reproduction. Okay, so what happens? Asexual reproduction usually takes place in unicellular organism. So it is the mode of growth in the unicellular organism. Okay, and it also helps in vegetative reproduction. Mitosis also helps in vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction is also a kind of asexual reproduction. Now what happens after mitosis? The chromosome number remains the same. The chromosome number, okay, as well as the genetic constitution remains the same because of mitosis. So if the cell is 2n, it will remain 2n only. If cell is n, it will remain n after mitosis. Okay. Now in the end, what is formed? What is the product of mitosis? Two daughter cells are formed, and the daughter cells which are produced are qualitatively and quantitatively similar to the parent cell. Okay. So this was about the mitosis in detail. We'll be studying about the next cycle, which is the meiosis. Okay. And thank you for listening to the lecture. We'll meet again in the next lecture series. Thank you very much.